Welcome to Gear Shift, a podcast dedicated to all aspects of vehicle ownership with your hosts, Christof and Kacper.
That was the most anonymously awesome car of all time.
Insert generic love of generic car.
Well, I don't know if I could say that car is all that generic. I mean, you know what? That's a lie.
It's a total basic car.
I mean, it's a basic car, but it's a well-appreciated car by a lot of people.
And you too can guess what this car is.
You can. I didn't. Oh, hello. Hi.
Oh.
Whoa. I didn't even know we had guests.
Whoa.
What is this?
This is different.
This is different.
Welcome to episode 19 of Gear Shift.
Shifting of gears.
Oh, God. I'm so pumped. I'm so happy.
I'm as pumped. I can't think of a...
As a tire with an extra load on the vehicle.
There we go.
I'm as pumped as a truck with too much in the bag.
I was actually going to say I'm as pumped as a penis of an insecure man, but that's fine. It's
you can't go that. You can't go that route because look at old Arnold. He made that whole documentary about pumping iron.
Yeah,
it's all about the pump.
I could be as pumped as Arnold.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm as pumped as 1976 Arnold.
Fact. Welcome to Gear Shift, everybody.
Yeah, we're doing something different.
Just a little bit. A lot of it.
It's a lot of it. So first of all, this is the first recording coming from the new Gear Shift studio.
Yes.
We're down in the man shed.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this before recording. This shed could not get any more manly. It could, because we don't have any cigars or beer down here.
We don't.
So that could step it up a notch.
Okay.
I did have to pull the tractor out.
Which decreased it by 3 man points.
Right, so it would increase 3 man points if I
Yes.
was in here. But let's talk. What do we see around here? We got a tire of towers.
There's a tower of tires.
Tower of tires.
There's a tower of tires. It's actually about as tall as I am, which is a lot of... It's 8 tires to be exact. They're all 225s, yeah?
No.
No?
No, the top 4 are
235?
235 Motivos.
Ooh.
The bottom 4 are 245s.
Oh, wow.
For the snow tires.
Well, excuse me. My bad.
Off by 20 millimeters there.
Facts.
On
each tire.
I got my hose down here.
The bitches or the actual hose?
My hose,
The garden hose.
Yeah, I keep my hose for the garden and stuff like that.
Okay.
My kids' bikes. I got a plow over here.
Yes.
Tractor chains, sleds, ladder, siding, wood.
All kinds of wood.
I got my tools over there. I got a bench grinder and a Makita bench saw.
I got that doohickey for cutting stuff.
And a vise. It's nice down here. I like it.
It's pretty lit.
So we're making the official move down to the shed to make this the man shift studio, the Gear Shift studio.
The man shift.
Fuck me.
The man shift.
I'm learning how to speak for the first time this week. Don't worry about it.
I'm seeing that.
Well, we had a pre-recorded episode come out last week. So
I know, so we're a little out of practice.
Yeah,
we're out of shape.
We haven't. Yeah, we skipped leg day for a week, and now we're back into it. And the other thing we're doing is video.
Yeah.
So
if you're paying attention, if you're paying close attention, you might notice that you can actually fucking see us while we're recording. That's where the video comes in. So, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the plan of what we're going to do.
Brace yourselves.
Yes. Coming in hot. So the plan is that we're going to record ourselves video and audio when we record the episode. Together.
The same time.
What's going to happen is you're going to see a split screen of Kacper and myself.
Hi.
Hi. And then I'm going to piece it together with the audio, so it's going to sound and look as professional as we possibly can.
You have no idea. And
then that is going to be broadcasted live on Sunday evenings at 8 o'clock.
Boom.
And on Facebook only. Then after it's viewed live, you can watch it live Sunday night at 8, and then once it's done, it disappears. The following morning at 8 o'clock, it'll release on iTunes, so you can listen to us the way or whatever medium you use to listen to us currently is how you'll continue to do. So nothing will change there audio-wise, and that won't expire. And then we do have a YouTube channel, and the video that aired live the day before will also upload on Monday, probably at noon, so I don't exhaust my bandwidth. at noon on YouTube. So this way we'll have it there too. So it's going to take us a little tweaking, and it will all come down. But it's going to be cool. We would love to hear what you guys think about it. And other than that, I'm pumped for it, though. I'm pumped to be in here. I no longer have to worry about kids just barging in anymore, or cats being a pain in the ass, or
fucking assholes,
or Chewy chewing on a squeak toy during a pretty important interview with Charles.
Yeah,
you know,
whatever.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm pumped about it, and I know video.
Are you pumped?
God, have I not,
couldn't tell.
Have I not said it yet?
Are you pumped?
Have I not said it?
I don't know.
I'm pumped.
I feel like the correct word would be pumped.
I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah,
I'm pumped up right now.
That's
yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. And last change to what we're doing.
Brace yourselves.
We're no longer going to have predetermined topics.
Fuck a script.
Pretty much. So we kind of look.
No, don't. Hold on. If there's a topic,
we're going to determine like right before recording.
Yeah, if there's something that we want to talk about, then obviously we're going to talk about it. But there's no specific schematic or premeditation for the episodes.
And there's some trickery behind this.
Tons.
We want to trick you into listening to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Simply put, I realize that a lot of our
I'm doing the the State Farm
hook
dollar
line and almost think, but if you see that we're like, for instance, the small business ownership one.
Yeah.
This is a car show. Everyone that was how it was incepted. Or the inception was for a car show, and if you don't want to listen to that, we told you pretty much what day not to listen.
Yeah.
Which is very generous on our part,
but
so you should thank us for that.
You should thank us because we took an L on that one.
Yes.
We took a little bit of a hit, so.
But we're
not doing that shit for you anymore. So yeah.
So it's kind of we're just gonna kind of riff, and most of the people who originally listened to the show, listened for you and me, like for how we talk and act anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So we're doing it live.
Get ready, because it's gonna be.
This one goes out to Papa O'Reilly. May you rest in peace. I'm hoping.
Why, God, why?
He's not dead yet, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
Shword. So those are the changes.
Yeah, and let us know. Let us know your feedback. Let us know what you think.
Now, if there is something that you guys want us to talk about, please still feel free to let us know, because it's not like we're not going to take any suggestions.
No, we're still going to riff. It's just the main point though is we're just going to riff.
Yeah,
is what it comes down to. We're not.
So as you may have noticed, we're pumped and we're riffing. Just in case you didn't fucking hear it for the last 50 words.
I'm pumped.
I need to diversify my vocab.
I'm inflated.
There is air inside of me. Copious amounts.
And if I can find a way to somehow get the Gear Shift banner more exposed, because right now the way we're angled, for those of you not watching, for those of you listening, we have this awesome Gear Shift podcast banner, which we had down at Wookiees in the Woods with us. And I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to Sean down with Design Cake Studios.
Awesome guy.
Not only did he design my business cards for both my businesses and the logo for the Bearded Detailer, but he hooked me up with a banner for this, for Gear Shift, and for the Bearded Detailer as well too. So awesome guy. If you guys need any logo designing, any sort of business card design and printing, find them. They're on Instagram, Facebook. Last I had spoke to him, they didn't have a website set up. I have an in. Sean's a friend, so I usually just message him personally. But Design Cake Studios LLC. They're in Florida. Florida? Am I saying it right?
It is good. It's the South.
Florida.
Yes.
Like the singer, right? Yes, very good. He's good. Yeah, forget about it. But anyway, so big shout out to him for helping us out with that. So that's what we have displayed behind us. So, and eventually, I'm hoping this shed will take more changes. I'd like to finish at least half of it, so we have a nice white wall for a background. Make it a little bit more professional or whatnot. Or let us know, guys. Do you want us to have a nice finished studio, or would you prefer a more raw?
Just keep it raw.
Do you like art?
Most of us do like it raw.
Do you like art?
Oh God,
Ashton. Anyway, before we go down that rabbit hole, but no, and as usual, we're not going to harp on this from now on. But we're brought to you by the Bearded Detailer. That's our one and only sponsor as of right now. I have a meeting with someone this week about a possible another sponsorship.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that. We didn't talk about it before.
No.
Well, we're not going to spill the beans. We're not going to spill the beans until after.
There shall not be any spilt beans.
Beans of any spilled kind. Or contained, actually.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck the bean. Who brought beans into
Who
this?
the fuck brought beans into this?
But anyway, thebeardeddetailer.com. Use promo code GearShift, which someone just did. One of our listeners just put an order in over the weekend.
Awesome.
He got 10% off his order of Optimum.
You know what that is?
And a Big
Do you know what
Red
that is? It's smooth, and at the same time, it's also creamy.
Well, he hasn't got the products yet, so I don't...
Whatever. It's going to be smooth and creamy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm okay with it. So, yeah, use that at checkout. Get 10% off your order. Simple as that. Yeah. So, we were talking before the show.
We do that sometimes.
We've been known to talk, people. Don't accuse us of not talking.
Word.
But we were talking before the show about project cars.
Yeah. So I had an interesting talk today. So I was a short-lived spectator today at a track day at Pocono Raceway.
Oh, sick invite too.
So
I wanted to go,
dope event.
I couldn't go.
Dope event. Well, there's the one that I was telling you about, the one that I think they're doing one on. I think we said today was July 2nd. I think it was confirmed. July 2nd.
Busy.
I think Clean Culture and somebody else is doing it.
I'm busy.
No, well then, go fuck yourself.
Actually, I gotta remember when Slipstream is. Yeah, because I'm going with Kevin, and
it's the weekend after probably, or maybe it's the same weekend.
I think it's the 7th. I think.
Yeah,
I think Slipstream's the 7th. I think.
Oh, so Sunday, Saturday. No, that doesn't make any sense.
We'll look at the calendar.
Whatever. Fuck it. Anyway, we're at the track day today, and really cool course. I think it was like over 3 miles. It was pretty extensive.
It's Pocono, right?
Yeah. But they do different, you know, courses. So this,
of course,
yeah. So we were talking about it, and I was talking to one of my friends regarding, you know, having like wanting a track car or project car or something like that, and we were discussing it, and he mentioned, he's like, you know, I'd like to, but financially it just doesn't make any sense, or at this time, you know, it's difficult. And I'm like, yeah, no, I get it, I totally get it. But you know, he whipped out the number. He's like, you know, I probably need like what, high 20s, close to 30 grand, and I'm like, what the fuck do you need $30,000 for to get a car going on a track? Now,
I mean, I would like 30 grand.
Well, yes. Now, fair point. He does make a fair point. He's like, if I want to do this, I want to do it right, and that's exactly how you should do it right.
Very
do
fair.
It right or do it twice. Correct.
It's now, becoming the unofficial motto of this show.
Realistically, if you have a track car, you're probably going to do it twice, regardless, whatever that might be,
or four or five
times.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know, I feel a lot of people, and we've had this discussion before about the costliness of being involved in the automotive game. It's money. It is money. It's money that a lot of other people look at and they say, "What are you? Why you're paying $400 to drive a car around a track? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what you could buy for $400?" And it's like, you know, they make a point.
Yeah. And hardware-wise, you're either going to spend it up front, a car that's ready to go, or a truck or whatever you're doing. You're either going to have a vehicle that's ready to go, and you're going to pay for that. Or you're going to get a cheaper vehicle and dump that money into
to make
it
ready to go. Yeah,
and there's pros and cons to both. But
there is absolutely. Now the thing is, you know, he's discussing it, and he mentioned that, you know, this set amount. Are there certain people that spend that kind of money? Yes, absolutely. There's tons of people out there that will spend that kind of money, and he's not wrong, because if you want to get if you want a car at a certain level for a track, whether you're actually racing or still just doing track days or both, if you want that kind of level of just lit, yes, that level of litness, whether it's just power, you know what I mean, like seriously, you know, whatever it has to do with the car, whether it's just having a really, really awesome cage put in or having like a crazy built motor and a really cool setup, it's going to cost money. And yeah, that's realistic, because most of the people that take track days and, you know, and races that seriously trailer their car, and a lot of people own a trailer, which, you know, that's the argument that my friend was making, and he's completely right. It's a lot of money, but at the same time, I feel like that can be a little bit misleading, because there's that end of the extreme, and then 2 weeks ago when I was at New York Safety Track, I met the guy that Dom met last year, who I knew him to be the $1,000 M3. He picked up a E36 M3 that was in like, I don't know, I think it was like fairly rough cosmetic shape, but ran well. He picked it up for $1,000, stripped the fucking car, cammed it, putting down $270 at the wheels, and he's keeping up with fucking
maintenance.
maintenance, but I'm on the track.
With vehicles.
He's fucking keeping up with 911s, Vipers. Like he's schooling everybody. It doesn't need to be that expensive if you can do some of, if not all of your own work.
Well, that's the other kicker too. If you can do your own work, you're saving yourself tons.
Exactly. It's just it's parts and occasionally requiring a friend for some help.
Yes.
But it's is it obviously there's a much more peace of mind with having a trailer, or transporting a car. But as we were discussing, you can rent a dolly. You can rent something from U-Haul or whomever.
Because look, if you actually, I will look up.
It's cheap
what
because
a rental would be.
Well, no, it was cheap. Remember, I picked up the Audi from here with the truck.
How much was that?
It was like less than $100 for a whole day. So count 2-3 days. Count maybe $200.
And if you want to buy an actual car trailer.
You're talking serious.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. That's gonna be a little bit more money. So it's definitely doable. I mean, and you don't need. There's a lot of cars out there right now that you can pick up for fairly cheap too. And now these are obviously older vehicles, but I think that is where the dynamic comes in for what do you want to get out of your track day, and what are you willing to sacrifice for your track day? Because like me, with the 2 cars right now, I have the Golf, and I was playing with the idea of driving that car at the one on the second.
Right.
But now in my head, I'm like, I have payments, and it's not even about the payments, but it's just like this car is new. I don't have track experience. Do I really want to beat the shit out of this car on the track? So I was iffy about that. Then, now I flash into the Volvo, which by the way.
Oh boy.
By the way.
The Volvo saga.
The Volvo saga continues.
Ooh, I have a price, by the way.
There is what is it? What's the price?
So there's a couple different trailers. So non-tilt trailers. It looks like you're looking around 2,500.
Okay, that's
two to 25 for brand new, and we're talking for a 6,000-pound trailer.
Yeah, so that's
the trailer's not 6,000.
Well, yeah,
for
capacity,
16 foot.
That's not that bad. So I'm sure you could probably pick a used one up for 1,500.
And then that's with no floor. So 2,100 is one with just open center.
Yeah.
Then you can get a closed center one for 26, a wood floored one for 23. So there's aluminum on top of that. So you can actually, let me look at the aluminum ones here. Aluminium. Oh, jeez, 5-6 grand.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so it's money.
Yeah, but you
can rent a dolly.
But how many track days are there really in a year that most people would go?
So
for?
Now
so $100 a day,
half a dozen, maybe a dozen, depending on how avid you are.
So $100 a day. Let's just say there's 12.
It's $1,200.
$1,200 versus, I mean, in your renting, now, it's not your maintenance on the trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Not your inspection on the trailer.
Yeah.
Because you do have to get trailers inspected, registered.
Correct.
And maintenance. They do need work. So
now, if you do end up buying it and you become like an avid track day junkie, then okay, it does make sense to buy it.
It would make sense to buy a used one.
Yeah.
Keep up with that.
Yeah.
But to buy new?
I would. I mean, it depends who you are. It depends what kind of money you're playing with, because there's obviously a high range of individuals.
Well, if you're starting out with 30 grand.
I mean, exactly. But yeah, I mean, returning to the thing, I don't think I want to enter this car because I almost feel bad doing like a track day in that car. Now moving forward,
Volvo?
No, the Golf. Now moving to the Volvo. The Volvo saga continues. There is now a third motor that has arrived, and I'm going to physically knock on some wood there. The motor was tested, and the leak down test was good. So, yeah. All right, shut the fuck up. So, the motor tested good. So, that's going to be going in relatively soon.
Where's the bad part? There's got to be a bad part.
I don't fucking... Well, there is a bad part. I have to use the stock size turbo.
Dun.
Stock size turbo because the other one went. But I honestly, at this point, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but that turbo would look fine.
No, it'll be fine. But now in my head,
pretty cool guy cleaned it up, which was nice.
Yeah, he was all right. Yeah, he's a little bit of a bitch though. But
turned out nice.
It did. No, it actually came out awesome. It gained 30 horsepower just off the cleaning.
Oh yeah,
capability obviously.
I soaked it in water overnight. I just submerged it in water in the bathtub.
Tossed some acid in there. It was fine. It was
battery acid, yeah. But I hooked the terminals of a battery to it. It's kind of like anodizing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice, warmed up real good.
Yeah.
So now it's like if that car is done and it actually runs right, I would still feel bad taking that car on the track because it's like there's so much in it already.
I wouldn't. For the sole purpose, well, as of right now, I wouldn't because you don't have a proper suspension.
No, I don't. Tires,
maybe a proper suspension and tires. I would say okay.
Brakes,
but brakes
on that car.
No,
Brake, suspension, tires. Maybe I'd consider it.
Yeah, even then, but that's not what that. I don't want to say it's not what that car. I mean, you could take any turn at 90 miles an hour, which is good.
I can, yes. But the thing is, it's like, okay, so now in my head, I'm like, all right, so if I let's say I sign up for the track day on the 2nd, and I have, a month and a half, right? Something like that to prep. So I can do one of two things. Prep. #prep. I can do one of two things. And this leads me into my the conversation about, what kind of price range you want to work with. I can dump, I don't know, let's say some good brakes, decent brakes. Doesn't have to be a bigger size. Let's say stock parameters, but good pads, good rotors.
Yeah, a better ceramic pad and
tires and suspension. I'm looking at 17s.
I have some tires for you.
17s.
Fuck it.
No. Yeah, just put them on the 8th. Yeah, whatever. You're looking at more than likely $2.5 grand, right?
Yeah.
Now, that leads me into my suggestion when it comes
to
fluid.
Brake fluid.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So let's just say we keep it under $3 grand, just to be safe.
Yeah.
So $3 grand. You can go out
and get a track ready.
Go on that little magical thing called Googly. From that Googly, you put your www. I'm breaking it down. You put your www. Craigslist.
Wait, no, there's a dot.
www.craigslist.org.
Is that with a K?
It's actually with a C. Once you get on this web page on the internets, you can go into a little search tab and just type in whatever the fuck you want. Type in Volkswagen. Type in BMW. Type in Miata. Then you proceed to your price range and you put a max of $3,000 and you will find something that you can buy that's probably a little bit beat up or high mileage or whatever, or well maintained and somebody just needs to get rid of it. And you can buy yourself a car that may or may not have some stuff already done to it, maybe almost track day ready, whatever, but you will have minimal remorse about taking to the track. Like, that's what I was thinking of doing. I was thinking about...
Well, I'll interject here because...
Fuck your interjections.
No, I mean, you have a good point. However, I think part of the reason why you specifically with the Volvo feel some hesitation.
I have too much sentiment for that car to take.
Exactly, and for the whole length of time you've put into that car,
I don't want it to be like one wrong turn and the car is gone.
Like 92 miles an hour.
Word. But yeah.
So yeah, I would say that. Like for me, for the R32, I would have no problems driving there and then not even trailing. I'm driving there and doing it. But that's because, obviously, I would actually have a better time taking a daily driven car because I know it's kept up with. That's the other problem about bringing a car that's trailered. Your first insight if something goes wrong is when you start to drive it at the track.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're driving to the event and something goes wrong, you know prior to getting there that's why you either don't take it on the track or you fix it before you get on the track. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming most people just don't go from pit straight to racing. Yeah. There's a little bit of buffer in there, but you know what I mean? I would feel more comfortable taking a road-ready car that can be driven to the event within distance, obviously.
Yeah.
If I was driving to California, I wouldn't drive I'd trailer to California probably.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
What the fuck are you doing track days in California or from here? But
I don't know. Would I drive to California?
I mean, I don't know. I would probably if there would be a certain range of time or trip distance that I would.
That's a tough one. I don't know.
I'll put it this way: if the tow is more expensive than the dolly rental, then not. Which is always going to be.
I have friends with trucks. I would be able to borrow a truck and maybe rent a trailer. Well, I know like Miranda's got a trailer. I'd probably be able if this was even a plausible thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd be able to make it happen. But I'm trying to think of would I rather drive because I'd be driving regardless. So am I driving a truck or am I driving?
Yeah, but at the same time, is there really any reason because your car is daily driven? Is there really any reason to not trailer it? But you already know how it's running.
Comfort.
Why?
Like riding in a cushy truck would be way better than riding in a.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, is there really? If you're taking a daily driven car to a track event. And you have the ability. Is there really any reason not to do it? Because you already know how the car drives. You don't have to check things along the way.
Do you know what I would do? I now know. I would probably trailer it like 2/3 of the way out there, or 3/4 of the way out there, because I wouldn't be going alone. I'd have somebody with me.
Well, yeah.
Then I would drive that last section,
and then they would literally just like disengage the trailer, and you would drive off of it mid fucking highway, Exactly.
No, but the reason being is that last little leg of the trip, if anything were to go wrong, because my luck would be...
You would want to know,
something, as I get onto the trailer, it's something like my tie rod bolt is one thread away from being snapping off. Oh, great. I daily drive. It's perfectly fine. As soon as I get it off the trailer and start to drive it, boom, done. So, that would be my luck. So that's what I would... But that's not a plausible thing. Yeah. Any race I would really go to would be probably under 5 hours away.
Yeah.
Under 5.
Yeah.
I got invited to go down to one in Virginia. And I looked at this 5 hours. I don't know if I want to do it. I think the registration was $300. Typical registration, I think, for a track day.
But yeah. So I mean, it's either there's different ways to do it. There's the other thing is when people, a lot of the time people, and I think Dom mentioned this back in one of the episodes. A lot of people show up to track days with really high power cars. Like they dump so much money into a build without actually learning driving aggressively, having never really tried it before. And
I believe it was Danny that mentioned that.
Was it Danny? It might have been Danny. It might have been Danny. But yeah, it's like, I feel like that's why I'm saying another reason why I would want something that's very simple, preferably rear-wheel drive.
Right.
And just something that I can go out onto the track that I picked up for, I don't know, $1,500 to $2,000. I don't give a shit. It's a little beat up. It's something that I can beat the piss out of, learn on, and if I put it into a fucking wall and I walk out, I'm like, well then, that's that. See, okay, cool.
That would be the other thing for me is any sort of damage that would happen. Like mechanical failure,
whatever.
That's one thing.
Doable. But like cosmetic, you're like, and that's the thing. It's like those. That's what I asked myself. Those are two cars that I do not want.
Well, the Golf, you don't have that much. You're not invested that much into it yet.
No.
Because you haven't had it that much. And I don't mean monetarily, just emotionally invested into it.
The Volvo was a different story. Like, I could not... Exactly. It's one of 500. I don't know if you know that. But no, I mean, it's like having to worry about ruining that car cosmetically would fucking... I can't even think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't even really had the Platinum for that long either.
No, I've had it for... It's just the whole endeavor has been, years.
I've
been with that transmission since 2009.
Well, I was gonna say both of your your current and last Volvo have kind of meshed together.
No, the last three, all three of them have, because they all share parts.
Well, I'm talking about because your problem started with the last one.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying these two kind of mesh together because it's the same issue coming together. So
true.
Yeah, you can go either way with track stuff, and I guess $30,000 is not. Well, what kind of car was he interested in building?
I'm not sure. We didn't really talk about it like that. We're just discussing it and everything. But my thing is, it's
because I will say, like, looking into, like, for example, a Turbo R32. Sure, you can go online and buy the kit for $7,000, but in reality, you're going to need 14
to get it done.
They always say plan for more than what the kit costs, just in case something comes up that's not included in that. So, 30 is probably. I mean, but yeah, if you're including a trailer, but not knowing a trailer is only $2,000, maybe not.
It depends. It really depends on what you want to accomplish. Like to me,
$30,000 is like no holds barred. Like, just order it.
Yeah,
go ahead, get it.
My thing to me, it's like I would not feel comfortable dumping more than a certain amount of money just to try something that I don't even know if I'm gonna like yet. Now, I'm speaking from a perspective of I have never done a track day. I don't know what the experience is like. Right. I think I'm going to like it. I don't actually fucking know if I'm going to like it. But if I do like it, then I can move up. It's like...
Well, there's also that fine line of liking it and being good at it.
Yeah.
I love watching baseball. I'm no good at it.
Yeah.
So... That's the thing. Like, you may love racing until you get in it and realize you suck.
Yeah.
Because... It's more than just your car. It's you too.
It's you, and that ties back into how much money you're going to spend.
If you spend all that money to find out that you suck, you should probably. It's like
I'll
a guitar.
Gladly. That's the thing.
Like a guitar. I want to learn to play guitar. I'm gonna go buy a Strat.
Fuck it. I'm gonna go buy a Gibson. I'm fucking. I'm balling out $2,000 right now. You put
more. Jack up that. Then let's go get one that's cost $10,000.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you fucking suck. Oh, I can't read music. Well, and I suck at anything. Well, I suck at life.
Yeah, and that's it. You're fucking. Well, that's like a turn for the dark.
Well, I mean, thankfully, guitars hold their value, and but cars do not.
Cars do not. That's the thing.
Well,
nowhere near as certain cars, but like right now. So it's like I have this project, right? This motor is going to get done. It's being paid for,
right?
And at that point, the car is technically ready to be driven. I mean, minus certain modifications.
Straight to the next owner.
Correct. And now the thing is, it's like I am in my head thinking, okay, I want to take the Volvo or the Golf onto the track day. I know that I will hold back. I mean, not hold back to the point where like, oh, I'm going to drive 100% of my limit, because I wouldn't, because I don't know my limits yet. But I would hold back.
I think you'd hold back a lot on the Volvo.
I would hold back a lot on that car. Now,
it's finally running. I
don't want to break it. Exactly. Now, mind you, if I come across a fucking, I don't know, rusted out, like as far as the body, or multicolored panel Miata on fucking Craigslist for a couple, I don't know, $2,000, $2,500, and it's got a stake in it, I will take that 110 horsepower car
to the limit
and beat the ever living piss out of it on the track.
Take it to the limit.
If I'm good at it, cool. Or if I could have potential to learn, awesome. If I don't, fuck it. It's $1,100. I'll sell it. I'll lose $300-$400 if I want a quick sell, and I'm done.
Fill the gas tank with concrete and take it to the scrapyard.
Boom.
I do not condone that, or have ever done
it. But yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's my perspective. Now, granted, I totally understand where Andrew's coming from too, because Andrew, which is the friend that I was talking to.
Oh, you called him out.
No, it's fine. I mean, he wouldn't care. He, I feel that he's been into motorsport for a while. Right. I don't recall him ever doing track. I don't think he's done one, but he's a very particular person. He wants everything done right. So with that stuff, doing it right is going to cost money, and that's understandable. But like we were talking about, I'm like, I feel like you can definitely at least try it without having to invest yourself ever so heavily into something.
And I think and this depends on your friendships. I think another way would do is like, hey, I have a friend who's going to be doing this day. Do you mind if I do a lap? Yeah. If it's possible, that's another option too. But again, it comes down to a different level of trust. If you even trust someone in a car, like so, I mentioned Kevin and I are going to slipstream, and I'm going to be his pit crew. I'm ordering another.
You were saying
coveralls, and I'm going to have my logo put on it. And I would love if I can get Kevin to also wear a pair, so we can have like the bearded detailer
matching
team.
And such.
So he can have like his own little driver suit.
I think that would be great.
But I'm going to walk around with a European accent the whole time. Miss Pit Crew, we're doing this all precision of built on this Japanese car. And I'm going to get quartered by some German guy. Oh yeah, where are you from? From Pennsylvania. But I would love to do a lap in his car if he'd let me. Yeah. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's let me push that car before, and he's actually going to have the proper plugs in that car for the race gas.
I'm excited to see how that car runs and everything.
He may or may not be trolling in the category that he selected for the horsepower.
Maybe. I told him that I think he should go into the lower category for sure.
I think he did pick the lower.
He did. I think he mentioned it. Yeah.
Because even he said there's going to be a lot of wheel spin.
Yeah.
So
just. Yeah.
I mean, if he was running slicks or like a race tire, if he could hook instantly, I would say stick to the higher one, but he's only got one set of wheels and tires for that car, so just stick with that,
But, no, absolutely. But yeah, I mean,
that's gonna be a good time. Yeah. I can't wait for that.
So I mean, that's what it comes down to. Like, there's so many different options with this stuff. And
by the way, pardon the coughing. I don't get seasonal allergies, but this year, the last couple of days, I'm being pounded in the ass by these allergies, man.
That sounds.
I'm coughing.
Interesting.
I've been getting really shitty sleep because my nose.
Well, plus you're getting your ass pounded apparently. So
by the allergies.
Yeah, those allergies.
I didn't even get treated to dinner first. I mean, not a call,
nothing.
They didn't even meet my parents yet.
Boom.
It's crazy. I usually don't get allergies, but this year it's been taking its toll. I've been coughing horrendously. Yeah. I might have to get the D. Claritin D. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
I might have to try it. I've always said you gotta try the D once to see if you like it.
I totally agree. I mean, like
if it even works for you.
Listen, the phrase goes: if your ass is getting pounded, you got to try the D.
I'm 90% sure I've seen that on at least 5 T-shirts.
Correct.
In my life. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm really intrigued. I went to I rode in the first track day ever 2 weeks ago, and I rode with somebody that I knew in the back of my head could drive, but then really realized they can drive, and I liked it a lot. It was very, very cool.
And who was this?
This was Dominic Pelk.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a little Polish boy from Queens. But yeah, so like he can really drive, and watching him and trying to follow his lines and everything, for the first time, it's such a different perspective being in the car. Obviously, I mean, this is pretty much like obvious. It's always different, but being in the car versus watching the car from the outside is a completely different thing.
As a passenger and as a driver, as a passenger, and as a spectator.
Absolutely,
those are three completely different experiences. For example, I cannot be a passenger.
No,
I cannot. When we go down the Wookiees and Crystal drives, Crystal's a great driver. I've never once questioned her driving abilities. I'm trying to think if I ever have. It's been 12 years, so I'm trying to think if I legitimately have. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think in 12 years I've ever gone, maybe you shouldn't do this, or that sucked. She's also, she knows her limits, so she'll stay within those limits. But I cannot be a passenger. I cannot do it. I don't have any control of what's going on, which is my big thing. But obviously, and I don't like watching people. If I'm going to go into an event, I want to be in the event, not so people can watch me, but because that's the only way I want to experience of those three positions is to be a driver.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
And that's not everybody.
No, not at all. So like I've gone as a spectator to multiple events over the last few years. I like the events as a spectator to a certain extent. Now, I feel like once the I want to say the fun or the pleasure of being a spectator starts to thin out, it's because you're getting the itch to actually be in the car. So now I've been at multiple events as a passenger,
right?
And that includes drift events and now the first track day that I've been to, which was about 2 weeks ago. And I enjoy the passenger experience. Now, I enjoy the drift experience. It's really cool. It's very laid back. It's really cool. It's awesome. I've been in Frank's car and Danny's car at drift events. I liked them both. It was a good time. And then I actually went to something beyond the controlled chaos. I went to a track day, and then I was in the car with Dom.
I think I could be a passenger in drift, though. I think I could.
It's fun. It's a good time
because it's literally just sit around and go whoa.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's honestly fun.
Yeah.
And then I got into the car with Dom, and that was way more intense. It was definitely more intense.
Speeds are higher, I would imagine.
The speeds are higher. He was. I mean, and like I said, and this goes back to obviously the whole thing we talk about, how much money you spend versus what you're capable of doing.
Right.
Now, Dom does not have a fast car. He has an R32. It's a car that has some pace. He's got good work done to it.
Right.
For his car is track ready, very much so. And with what he has, he's putting it's at the limit consistently. Well, maybe not at the limit, but at a very consistent high pace.
That's right. You heard it here first, folks. The Golf R32 is not a fast car. That's right. Write the papers, write everything. Like, your local mayor, let him know it's not a fast car at all.
So being in the car, they're not fast. But being in his car was awesome. I got to see what lines look like. I got to see what his technique is, how he drives, how he approaches certain things, and I liked it from that aspect. Yeah. So now it's 2 out of 3. I like it from 2 perspectives, but now I actually want to try it.
So of the 3 ways, you like 2.
I like 2 so far. Yeah.
So you can go 2 ways so far.
Exactly.
Let's see if he can go a third.
Yeah. So now I'm at that stage where it's like, okay, there's something coming up in a month and a half, and I've already been searching. Yeah. I'm looking at Craigslist. I'll just write auto, set the tab or the filter at manual, and put a limit of like 2,500 and just see what the fuck pops up.
By the way,
front wheel drive, whatever, I don't care.
I had to check. I thought Craigslist was a .com, but it is a .org.
It is a .org. You didn't believe me.
Well, no, because hey, look at the world we live in, where you can just start typing something in and you don't have to finish it, and it'll automatically take you to that.
Go fuck yourself.
And I have the app. I have the Craigslist app, so I don't have to ever type it in. Nor do I ever buy anything off Craigslist.
Well, there's that. So I was looking around, and I mean, there's a bunch of cars fairly cheap, and now in my head, I'm like, all right, I can do this. I can probably pick something up. I don't care what it is. It could be a fucking a Mark III Golf VR. I don't give a shit. I would love a real drive car, whether it's a Miata or something else that's Japanese and old school.
But essentially, you want to throw away.
Kind of. To start,
in the sense
because who says that this has to be the one and only track car that I ever have? I can buy it and be like, all right, I like this. This is cool. I want to invest a little bit more into this.
And then, see, the plus side to this is then when you're done, if you decide you either want to get out or move on,
I can sell it.
You can then say this car is track ready or you need this and this to complete the track readiness.
And I'm sure I can entice somebody to pick it up.
For someone who doesn't want to do the work.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and like I said, it would be a minimal expense. I wouldn't want to dump, people are like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity for you to get an E36 M3 because that's, like, the car.
But that's the car.
But I wouldn't, that's the car I've always wanted, and I couldn't drive that on the car
you're
either.
Right back where you started.
Exactly. I'm like, because if I'm going to buy I would buy an E36, I would not buy an E36 M3.
Right.
Put it that way. Because if I'm going to buy an E36 M3, I'm buying a fucking proper car.
And you can always put the M badge on there.
And that's all I need. That's all I need. And so that, if I'm going to buy that car is going to be bought. It's going to be fucking coated. It's going to be driven occasionally, and I'm just going to love it.
Exactly.
A basic, like a 325 or a 328 or even a 318. I don't give a shit if it's a 4-cylinder one.
What about a 308?
There are no 308s, but that would be pretty cool if BMW made it a 0.8-liter car. It's supercharged, 2-cylinder.
2-cycle?
2-cycle. But... But I mean, yeah. So it's it's definitely doable. There was I forgot what I came across recently. There was actually a car that I wouldn't mind rocking on a daily. It was a 318 Ti. So it's a mid-90s BMW.
What's the T?
So the Ti. Do you remember? So you have the E36 platform. You ever seen the ones with the really short ass? How it's like the tiny one?
Yeah.
So it's that car. It was a 318 Ti. So it's a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder non-turbo.
Right.
This guy had a couple of cool things done to it. It had like 150,000 miles. Whatever, fine, as long as it runs.
That's not bad.
No, if it runs, it runs.
Yeah, it's.
So you have that. It was freshly painted. The I forgot Alpine or Alpina. I always forget what it is. BMW white.
I think it's just Alpine.
It could be Alpine white. Yeah. That came on those mid-90s cars.
I'm a pretty BMW guy. I'm sure you know this.
So he had an M bumper, M side skirts. It looked pretty cool. Yeah. M wheels with suspension, and that's it.
M badge.
No M badge. Fuck. Actually, no. I think he had the what's it called? The trim might have had the M badge. I think he had the M trim as well.
On the inside.
On the outside.
Okay.
Because they have the plastic. They have the trim on the door.
Oh, like the door molding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The molding.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So
belt line. That's actually called.
Well, yeah, but and it looked like actually like I could just get in that car, put some fucking race fluid, maybe do brakes, and go. Just fucking try it, right?
How much do they want for it?
I think it was like 35.
It's still not horrible.
And now, mind you, it's more expensive than what I was talking about originally because it's a freshly painted car. He's gonna want a little bit of money for it because it looked clean. It was a clean example of a car. Now,
did he say why he repainted?
Like, I don't know.
Was there damage?
I texted him asking him for like interior photos and he never got back to me. So I was like, whatever. But it might have been gone already. But that's a good example. Now, flip that and look at another 318 Ti that's in shit cosmetic condition and still running. Whatever, you can pick it up for like $2,000,
right,
or less. Is it a powerful car? No, it's slow as balls. But if you don't have any track experience, which I don't, I like to try stuff, but I'm also a realist. I'm not overly confident about things that I don't know how to do, which is why when we go to Wookiees, I tend to stay in the back of the pack. I want to figure out my own thing. I don't give a shit that I'm going slower. I'm in my realm of comfort, and I will decide when I want to push it. I don't want to have anybody on my back when I do it. Now, when it comes to this particular instance, I am basking in the idea of having a slow car. Because as long as it handles well, it's fine. It doesn't have to be. I mean, I'm not talking about like an 80 horsepower car, but
I think that's what
sub 200 up to 250.
Well, and I think that's what makes the R32 such a good car to start tracking in, because you get to learn how to handle. And it's a great handling car as long as it's set up right.
Yes.
Before you can add that element of speed, because speed is where things can go wrong very quickly.
Exactly.
So once you can learn the track, driving skills, and handling, then you can bump up to speed.
Yeah.
So that's a good,
That's the route that I'm thinking about going if I do end up, pulling the trigger on something. So stay tuned, folks. I might pick something up in the next few weeks.
Now we've talked about you and I have talked about what I want for a project.
Are we talking about Beetle, or are we talking about
the Beetle?
Or are we talking about the best car that you could ever own and that you will own eventually, and that is a E31 BMW 850?
No, that
I don't think you would track that. You would never track that car.
If I ever pick one up, that will be pretty much like a resto mod.
Yeah, definitely.
Make it as clean as like OEM plus with a nice, a sensible drop, period correct wheels.
Yeah.
Just that would be what I would do with that.
Yeah.
But no. An air-cooled Beetle. So for those of you who don't know, I had a 68 Beetle, and we might have talked about it.
I'm sure
we've mentioned it, but I loved it, and I've always been an air-cooled. Like I love air-cooled. Oh, we did talk about it with Louis. But what I've always been intrigued with are the turbo kits that get put on those, and they can make the stock motors with, upgrading the right parts, obviously, with a turbo kit. Actually put down some decent numbers.
Well, especially if you consider the weight of the car.
Exactly. You're looking at a car that from the factory ran around 1,700 pounds. And you can easily get 200 to 250 out of those motors with a good kit. Yeah. That's not even going extreme.
So now to put it into perspective, anybody that's driven like a modern day 6 seconds 0 to 60 car. That's what I'm gonna say, because there's a lot of cars that shoot for that range.
Let's go with the Audi A4. That car weighs around 35.
Yeah. Now the Golf R is 33. So right around that 3,400 pound range, which a lot of cars on the market right now have. Certain BMWs.
And what's the Golf R's rated for? What's the
250. Mine is 250 crank, supposedly. 250. Yeah.
I thought the Mark 5s are 250. The Mark 5s are 250. The Mark 4s are 240.
I'm sorry, I'm 256. 256.
No, you sure?
No, it's not 260.
All right.
It's under. It's the same shit.
Let's say 250, and the Audi is 225.
Yeah, so you're looking at these modern days semi-peppy cars,
and they're competent. They can get into traffic. You can push them, and they can have
a little bit of fun. Now cut the weight in half. Cut that fucking weight in half, and you have a beast.
Yeah.
You have a very quick car.
And anyone who's watched the show Fast and Loud, no, not Fast and Loud. Oh shit! What's the?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm going to eat this banana while Christof finds the name of the show.
With Farm Truck and Asian, maybe it is Fast. I don't know.
There's the show.
Yeah, there's whatever the drag racing show with the Outlaws. Street Outlaw. I think that's the name of the show. That makes sense. Where they have all these high horsepower race cars and whatnot. And but the two guys have what's called the Dung Beetle, which is an old air-cooled Beetle that they painted to look patinaed and rusted out, which is awesome. It makes it look like the ultimate sleeper. But they got sticky tires on it, and last I had seen before they did, I think they changed up something with the fueling. It was like 380 to the wheel.
That's a lot. That's a lot in it.
And it was gutted with race seats.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking at 1,200 to 1,500 pounds.
That's insane.
If you do the math, that comes out to the same power to weight ratio as a Bugatti Veyron, that's a lot of fucking power. So
380 by a modern car.
And that was on pump. I think on race it went up to like 450 or something like that. And they did update it since I looked at those numbers last. So it's definitely more. They're pushing almost 5 on race.
That's insane.
Which makes me all tingly in
bonkers.
The pants.
It's utterly bonkers.
What I want to do, I want to get another air cooled. It's probably 69, 68, same general era. Specifically for the suspension, I would love the independent rear, which came on the Supers later on, but I think you could get them in 69s. If it didn't have it, I could just swap it in.
Yeah.
And then I would be happy with 2 to 250. I'd be happy with 2, to be honest, just 200.
Absolutely.
And gut it. It wouldn't be a car I'd take my kids out in for a family trip.
Well, yeah.
I would like to have ideally 2 seats so I could take somebody for a ride, but at the end of the day, I don't care if it's just one.
Yeah.
And then they would dump all the money into motor, suspension, tires.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fuck cosmetics.
And a cage, obviously, for safety. But, I would love to. I would absolutely love that. And it may happen.
Yeah.
I'm not financially in that point to do that right now. And I always said when I do it, it's going to be in this shed.
Yeah.
Because I have enough room to get a Beetle in here.
There is. I mean,
the bay door here is big enough to get a car through, and the Beetle's not big. It wouldn't have to go that far back. I could totally do it. Yeah. So we'll see someday.
It would be awesome. So yeah, I mean, I like I said, I'm limiting spending on a lot at this point just to see, because I think I'm at a point where I either will or will not do this first event based on whether or not I come across a car that I will buy, because I think internally I've decided that I'm not going to take the Golf or the Volvo on the track.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and while we're on the topic of money, let's make a segue over to what we did this week.
Ooh.
Now we didn't record this past week, so we're actually going to play a little bit of catch up for the week before as well. So I know Kevin and I and Alex and Eric, we went to Dino Day.
Yep.
Not this past weekend, the weekend before. and we threw the cars on there. That was a good time. The R32, the all-wheel drive taxi, hit 208 front wheel, which was about what I was expecting from a dyno jet. I was actually hoping for 210, so that's right about par. You throw cams on there, you're looking at 15 to 20, or closer to 20, I think. No, for the Schrick, 'cause that's the only thing that's available for the Mark Vs. I think it was like 20 to 30.
I think if you had cams in that car, you'd be set.
I really do. I really would be happy with cams in that. But 208 was what I was expecting. It was consistent. And then Kevin did his pull in the 240, 496 on pump. That was not raised. That was pump gas.
It's crazy.
So yeah, beautiful. Eric hit 255. Definitely 250. He was just a hair higher. I think it was 255 or something like that. So he was hoping for 240. So he's right around where he wanted. And front wheel, by the way, on that one.
So he's close to like 300 crank, right? Yeah. Okay.
And then Alex with the Mark 7R, he ended up hitting I think he had two numbers. 288 was the one, and he hit another
296,
one.
296, you said.
Was it 296? I think that sounds right, yeah. There was an issue with the tune. It wasn't tuned to what he was expecting. He was expecting like 360.
Yeah. Just a small
It turns
difference.
out that the boost was turned down, and he didn't know about it.
Yes.
He wasn't told. So it has since been corrected, and we won't put anyone on blast for that. So, no, that was fun. So did you do any, like, I know we're looking back 2 weeks now.
Yeah. So within the last 2 weeks, there has been a lot, actually, if you think about it, and it involved you, but it has been a lot. So,
well, I know this past week, but what the week before that?
Well, the week before, you opti-coded my car.
No, that was last week.
That was
Yeah, that was this past, not this week that we're currently in, the week before that. We're looking at the week before that.
Oh, no. Wait, did I do anything that week?
I don't think we did. Tails. We did the tail lights.
The tail lights.
You did your LED tails.
So I popped the tails in and coated them.
Oh, and for the record, if anyone who is installing any sort of lighting into your car, I'm gonna give you a pro tip. This is a pro tip to verify function. Make sure there's bulbs in there.
Yeah. Make sure there's bulbs in the tail light before you assume that there's something wrong.
I don't know why they're not working.
I don't know.
So they're LED tails, but the turn signals is still an incandescent bulb.
Yeah, they weren't there.
And it sucked because, well, first you had a problem with them when you first put them in, but we figured that was just coding.
I coded it wrong.
Yeah. And possible wiring because you have to switch the things in the PCM.
Correct. Yeah.
So then we get to my house, and
everything's wired.
Everything's coded and wired the way it's supposed to be.
Turn signals still don't work.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
It sucks because my usual luck is I'll go on a witch hunt at that point, and I'll check all the things that I should, like, oh, it's just a blown fuse. Yeah. Like, that would be the last thing I check. No. Maybe it's happened to me enough times now that I'm starting with the simple shit first. But for some reason in my head, it just clicked. I'm like, are there fucking bulbs in there? And I'm so happy. That's
what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even thought of it.
Nope.
I honestly wouldn't have thought of it. And yeah.
Well, first I thought maybe they were just blown out, but they just weren't there.
No, they just weren't there. But
yeah.
so the taillights, I think that was pretty much it. I already had the shift I already had the intake done.
Yeah.
And then I gave you the car on the following Wednesday. Last week. I think it was a Wednesday, and then you gave it to me Thursday night. Give you the car Wednesday.
So yeah, the bearded detailer, not me.
I don't know who that guy is.
The bearded detailer did a full good correction to your car and an optimum gloss coat. To that,
which I'm very happy with, but I'm really itching to wash my car, and I can't.
Opti Glass Pro as well too. So you have 2 years on the glass and the paint.
I can't wash it, and it sucks balls because it's like. And it's such an oxymoron because, well, it is actually an oxymoron because I have the bearded detailer sticker on the back of the car, and the car is fucking filthy.
So it's
disgusting.
I talked with Chad about that, and the same thing happened with Alex because Alex has it on his car too. And Chad's like, "Haven't you ever thought like, if the car's dirty and your sticker's on there, that you're not doing a good job?" I'm like, "Well, no. Look at it this way: if you came up to someone's car and saw the sticker, you'd be like, huh, either this detailer sucks and the car's dirty." Or he's on his way to see the detailer. I want to know who this detailer is regardless. So regardless, it already gets the name stuck in your head. Yeah. Like, who is this shitty detailer? Or who is this detailer that he is on his way to see? I don't know. So,
Yeah.
But for those wondering why he can't wash it, when you put it on, it's ceramic coating, so you have to let it cure. And typically, I know Optimum says 2 weeks is what you should wait before washing it, before touching it.
But the bearded detailer being the prick he is making me wait a month.
Yeah, Louis, that was something
Louis sucks too. Fuck Louis.
Yeah.
Hi, Louis. Love you, Louis.
Louise. That was something that Louis had mentioned to me. Instead of the 2 weeks, push it out to 4. So I usually tell people 3 to 4, depending on schedule. So if someone couldn't make it on that 4th week, I
can't make it on the 4th week.
Bullshit. Lying.
I'm gonna be out of town.
So on the 1 month mark, I have everyone with coatings come back to me, whether it's Gloss Coat, Pro or Pro Plus, come back after that month, and I do a full decon wash, make sure everything is holding up. If there is a problem within that time, like that's when the time it is to address it, not 2 years down the road.
Yeah,
so that there's a method to the madness, but yeah, it's super frustrating when you get it.
It's so fucking filthy.
I just paid the money to make it clean, and now I can't clean it. What the fuck?
That's literally it. I'm like, not. And then it's like I apologize to any animal activists, but I literally committed mass genocide on some kind of bug. And I don't know what the fuck happened, but my entire it still is bad, dick, because I can't wash the car. It did rain. No, it's not. For like a minute, I wasn't here.
It's going to rain all this week.
Oh, thank God.
It's supposed to rain all this week. Yeah, your bumper is actually kind of fuzzy. That's how many bugs are on
I don't know. You know how you guys get...
It's like you put carpet on there.
You know when you get bugs, like you hit bugs with on your windshield or whatever, you have like a dozen or whatever. I literally have, and I'm not exaggerating.
Genocide.
There's hundreds of bugs on my front bumper. Hundreds. And I don't know what the hell when this happened. I don't remember seeing bugs flying around when I have no idea.
So you encountered the short-winged, long-snouted bumblefly of the Pennsylvania coast, and they're now extinct.
Indeed, yeah. So I don't know. I really have no idea how that happened, but yeah. So, yeah. But and then suspension. Now the car is lowered. So the car that I said that I wasn't going to put any money into whatsoever.
Not doing a thing.
I'm not doing anything to this car. Now it has an intake, shifter, suspension, and taillights. And coating. And the flapper mod, which doesn't count for any money, but it does actually. Yeah. Now that I start driving out, I can hear it. I can hear it now. I can hear a little bit of a rumble.
Because the difference is when you wouldn't notice it is when you'd be up at speed.
And exactly.
The road noise and whatnot.
Road noise kind of cancels out because it's not very loud anyway.
But for anyone with Tornado Red, I have a question. Yes. See if anybody else has experienced
this. So anybody that knows Tornado Red, as we have come to know it, I knew it from firsthand from having my Mark V. Right. Tornado Red is notorious for its clear peel. It is notorious for peeling. It's clear. Very, very, a lot of the time, very soon.
And the 4 was like that.
And so was the 5, clearly. So now, Christof took a very, 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 I'm sorry, not Christof. Who the fuck is Christof? The bearded detailer took an immensely long time for what he expected.
For the record, he still got it back in the amount of time that he needed it back.
I did. That's true.
No, but for some reason...
It took way longer than you expected it to. And it turns out that what you said, as you described it...
It's hard.
It's hard. The paint is very, very hard. And we have a theory, and we're curious to see if anybody else knows. We think that because of all the clear peel that Tornado Red has had over the years, that finally Volkswagen said, you know what? They're going to complain about the fucking clear peel? Double it! And they just smack down like 17 inches of clear.
Hey, Hans, turn that shit up.
How many coats did you put? 2? Make it 7. Like,
how many should I put on? All of them.
And so, because you said it was...
I asked Louis, and he said he had done every generation of Tornado Red except for the 6.
He did a 3 or 4 and a 5 then.
So if anyone else has done any sort of compounding, polishing, correction on Mark 6 Tornado Red...
Meaning 2010 or newer.
Yeah.
2010 or newer.
To 2014.
Yeah.
Because GTI was... Tornado
well, I mean, not 24. It doesn't have to be Mark 6. It could be a 7, too. But did he do a 7 and it wasn't as bad?
He did do a 7.
And that's so weird.
So, let us know, because it was probably the hardest... to put it in perspective, Volkswagen paint's not that bad. Usually it's a pretty good all-around... for modern, within the last 10 years, those Mark 5, 6, and 7 are usually pretty good. They're not terrible to work with.
Yeah,
but
from what I hear.
It was worse than Dave's 86 911 that was black.
Yeah,
it was worse than that.
So he had a very difficult time with it. It came. I mean, I still think it came out awesome. Ryan saw the car today. He's like, dude, it looks really great. Good. So Ryan thought it would look great too. Awesome. I mean, granted, it's hard to but he gauged it with his detailer, right? With a little like, it looks fucking good, bro. Shout out to Ryan, Teggy Parental.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so and it came out awesome. I'm very happy with it, except for the fact that it's dirty. But other than that, it came out really, really nice. Yeah. And the suspension, I am happy with.
And what'd you go with?
So I was going back and forth, and part of me is still thinking I should have gone with coil. So mind you guys, I've been now into the cars for about 10 years. I still have not owned any set of coilovers. It's the weirdest thing. All I've ever owned was springs and shocks. And I guess, I don't know why, but I got used to it.
He's not one of us!
And so I was going back and forth, but I found a pretty good deal for the same. Now, mind you, I made this decision based solely on familiarity. What the fuck?
Knowledge. Experience.
Knowledge.
Knowing things.
So I had the Mark V lowered on New Speed Race springs, which I loved. And
race, not sport, right? Race.
No, race.
Okay.
I had the car lowered on New Speed Race springs with Coney yellows. For anybody that knows, it's a separate shock strut that you can actually adjust the dampening on. So it's kind of like a...
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, yeah,
you can adjust. You had dampening on the front.
Oh, yeah, you can
just the front or the rear.
No,
too?
Both.
It sucks because the rear you had to take off.
You had to take it out. Correct. You had to twist it. Yeah.
I hated it.
So you can adjust the Coney yellows. So I like the ride, but I also wanted this car to not be too stiff. So instead of going with the Coneys this time around, I went with another shock / strut that I'm familiar with, which is Bilstein or Bilstein. Bilstein. Touring. So anybody that knows, cars or these companies, which pretty much everybody knows, they have different grades of either dampening control or dampening firmness.
Fixed or adjustable,
whatever they are. Bilstein has they have their sport, they have their HD, but they also have a milder one, which is their touring, which a lot of people say is just mildly stiffer than stock. I'm like,
it felt great.
No, and I enjoy the way the car drives a lot. Andrew drove it today because we swapped.
I was going to say, now I meant to ask you today. Now you have more miles on it.
I like it.
Good.
It feels awesome. I do get the clunks occasionally. I think it's its way. I think it's going to be the end links. I think it's going to be the end links.
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to get adjustables and call it a day. But it's nice. It really feels awesome. I thought it was good, and I didn't want anything too stiff. So it feels very stockish, just a little lower.
It does.
And it was an awesome bargain because they sell it as a cup kit, which we discussed when we went on a suspension episode, how people don't really do cup kits anymore. Well, back in my day. So I decided to get one.
When I was your age.
So I got the cup kit.
Remember?
So I got the cup kit. It was $500. Realistically speaking, if I dished out the extra $300-400, I could have got myself either ST coils, which apparently are awesome.
Yeah.
I could have gotten a good deal on Bilstein PSSs, not PSS 10s, not 16s, PSS.
The fixed
Bilstein PSS.
Yeah,
fixed dampening, but height adjustable.
Right.
I think they were going for like 900 something on I think it was Deutsche Auto Parts. I don't remember, but on one of the websites. I could have gotten BCs.
Click you did there.
Yeah. I could have done BCs.
That's for our African friends.
I could have done BC coils, which I was considering because they come for certain cars. They come with camber plates already mounted on.
Right.
Mark 6 being one of those cars, and actually the Volvo too, which is probably what I'm going to go for. But now, having spoken with Danny and Dom, the one mentioned that they felt a little bit oversprung, so I was a little bit hesitant to really dive into
BC,
them. And I started going to reviews after he said that, and I did find quite a few people saying that. So I was like,
I will say the one nice thing about BC is the fact that they have it's a threaded body.
Yeah,
so you can. I think that's a big problem with a lot of coilovers is people only adjust the spring. Well, you're not adjusting the travel of the shock as well too,
which you can on
and
these.
that is very important because that causes premature failure of the shock. You'll blow your shock a lot.
Premature ejaculation. What? Okay.
Well, so
was that good for you?
It can cause early wearing.
Yeah,
but if Double D tell you not to.
Yeah, no, I mean he
that's
mentioned.
What we're calling
Danny and Dom. So Danny has them still on his E30.
Okay.
He liked them, but he did mention
back on the road. SE. He just got the alignment done. No?
Something happened yesterday.
All right, we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
All right.
So some stuff happened with the subframe and such. So
moving right along.
But he's trying. I think plus I think he's going to try to have it fixed this week for an event next week.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think he'll be able to do it.
Cool.
But yeah, so I like it a lot.
Yeah,
it drives awesome. The rear is a little bit. It's one of two things. Either the front is a little higher than the rear is a little lower than the front.
Yes.
Now, it's more of, does it need to be a little bit lower in the front, or does it need to be a little higher in the rear? And
I say higher in the rear is personally.
I think so too. The thing was, I just clicked again. I'm feeling very African today, and I don't know why, but so bad.
And we haven't been drinking. Just want to make that very clear.
But and that's when it's sad, and I'm like, should have fucking gotten coils.
Yeah.
But I am happy with the way that it drives. I like the way it rides.
I'm going to do some homework because I remember there was a guy in the Passat forums who said there is a different pad that you can get for the rear.
I think, and we might be able to raise it. Yeah. Well, Pablo said he mentioned, he goes, why don't you look into what I had on the Audi with the
but
something of that sort.
But there is an OEM one.
Oh,
that would just raise it up just a little bit more.
Really?
I have to look into it.
If you could find it, that'd be great.
Yeah, it was in the Passat forums, but it was based on the same conversation of putting a lowering spring with a fixed shock.
Yeah,
you can't raise the rear if you wanted to. And I remember, if I remember correctly, there was something. I'll look into it. I've been meaning to. And
no, it's all good. I mean, that would be cool. I like the way I do like the way it sits, and I think the reason it looks the way it does right now is, as far as I know, these springs, there's no difference in the springs in these particular New Speedway springs that are sold between the Mark V and the Mark VI. I don't think there's anything different.
So weight is the only thing we
can I think weight is the only thing that we can come down to from the front, because the Mark V had the VR6
and the DSG.
And the DSG, so it's significantly heavier in the front.
250 pounds or something like that.
It's a big difference, which is why the 5 looked
lower in the front.
Lower and perfectly, I don't want to say perfectly flush, but it was right at that edge of tuck.
The rake was perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. I didn't actually get a chance to do anything to any of my vehicles for the last 2 weeks. Well, I've been doing other people's stuff.
Other people's shit. Yeah.
No, I did do. I did your car, which I'm very happy with how it turned out.
I like it a lot.
And then prior to your car, I had a Subaru Impreza come for it's supposed to be a basic detail, ended up turning into a full detail because there was paint overspray over the entire car, which sucked bad.
And then on top of it, you did the M3.
And then I finished the week with the M3. I need to trim those branches on the roof.
Those branches are being a bitch.
Yeah, anyway.
Stop being a bitch.
We got some rain coming, so the wind's picking up here. But anyway.
Thank God.
Yeah, it was
Get those bugs off my front bumper.
I
feel like a Mustang in a crowd.
That's good. Yeah, it was a 13 M3, right?
I think it was a 13, yeah.
I don't think it was a 14.
It was a 13
the V8.
E92 V8 competition package.
Yeah, it had the comp package, which someone had told me that the roofs on the competition package were carbon fiber, but the owner had told me then if they had a sunroof, which this one did,
they weren't carbon fiber.
Did not
anymore.
have the carbon fiber. So I learned a little bit about the car, which was nice. That really was the nice cherry on the end of my week, because that paint was very, very easy to work with. I was like, if I get a third car this week, 3 for 3, that's going to be a pain in my ass, I'm selling the whole business. But no, it was a nice way to finish the week. Finished up with a nice wax. It was a carbon black metallic again.
Love that.
This is now the second one that I've detailed, the third one that I've experienced. Based
Love
off
that fucking paint.
Yeah,
such an awesome paint.
It was beautiful. He was really, really happy with it too. So,
yeah.
And he says he also has a 135. So I've been looking forward for that coming back.
Yeah.
So that's all I got done. I did some Laminex this week too, but it was nice having a week, kind of a work around the house week after kicking my ass the week before.
Yeah.
We'll go here to Instagram. We got Connor Newman. He said he used a pressure washer and foam cannon for the first time to wash his car.
Woohoo! That was always a good time.
Connor still has a. He had won a gift card for the bearded detailer. Still hasn't used it yet.
Where's he at?
I don't know.
You can just order products.
Well, I think he's. Oh yeah, he would be. Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He could order. And he also put out a guest for the intro vehicle.
Uh-huh.
He had put out an RS4 with the V8.
Good guess, I guess. That's a good
No,
guess.
it's a horrible guess. It's wrong.
I know. Well, you don't have to be mean about it.
Which, reminder...
You're off by a fucking mile, my guy.
But reminder, you have until Friday, this Friday at 11:59 to submit your answers to Gearshift, the bearddetailer.com/Gearshift. Submit a DM via Instagram or Facebook. Let us know what you think the car in our intro is, and we're going to announce it next week. So episode 20, we're going to let you know what it is. I think some of you will be pretty surprised at what it is.
Based on the guesses, especially. Yeah,
we have gotten a very eclectic range of... Yeah. We have one person who has guessed correctly so far.
Yeah.
I'm not saying who it is, but keep guessing.
Keep on guessing.
We did give hints a couple episodes ago as to something that would kind of get you in the right direction.
What did we say?
We said it was a European car.
It was a European car.
With an exhaust.
Microphone there. It's European.
It's European with an exhaust. And the whole reason why we got the clip is because the exhaust manufacturer was doing it before and after.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we put out. We didn't say anything else. And that it wasn't no funky swaps or anything like that. No. So, let's see. We also got Zenki 718.
Ooh, Mark.
Fixed all the lights on the Envoy. Helped my friend get his GC8 with a WRX swap to fire.
Nice.
Worked a shit ton of OT and went to school. And shooting to clean garage on Saturday.
Nice. Good
so
shit, Mark.
Hopefully yesterday, or 2 days ago, he got that done. And then we have Pinch Visa. He installed BFI Shift Kin. So I'm thinking Kin is knob, because I remember seeing his Instagram pictures. So the BFI Shift knob, and he says dog one insert. So it's dog bone as well. So that spell check's a son of a bitch. So yeah, some good stuff done, you guys. You guys did some good stuff this week. Hang on a second. Go back here to co-driver of the week. How's that banana over there?
You gotta fix that leak, dude.
I know. I do have water down here. How's that banana?
Tasty.
Open a bottle of Champagne?
2 bottles.
Okay. All right. I was trying to find something. I can't find it. So we're going to skip co-driver of the week. We're going to come back next week with that.
Word.
Yeah. So
stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, we're
I love that. That was an awesome session.
That was good.
That was fucking great.
Definitely a lot better. I think it's more us.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Now we're recording this on the Sunday, so the video is going to come out tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Just because I won't have time to get it ready for 20 minutes from now.
Yeah. But if you guys actually, I'm asking a favor. If you guys come across a fairly cheap car that you think would be kind of cool to toss on a track on the East Coast, let me know.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Yeah.
Because I really am going to be, I'm not just talking shit. I really am looking around to see if something pops up before then that I'm not going to be impulsive, but if I can see myself picking up for fairly cheap and getting a little bit of use out of it, I'm probably going to do it.
Right.
So I definitely, if you guys come across anything, any suggestions, I'm not racist towards any manufacturer. No, I don't give a shit. If you find me a nice, clean, if you find me a fucking clean Civic hatch that has some suspension, I will fucking buy it and I will take it to the track. I don't give a shit.
That's the problem though, is there's no such thing as an unmolested.
I know that it's hard. It's hard to find one that's unmolested or one that wouldn't need me to do it.
I will say one thing that is nice about doing that though is you don't have to worry about a car. Is it inspected?
Yeah.
No. Who cares?
Don't give a shit.
Who gives a shit? Check engine lights on.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Seriously.
No, if you guys come across anything that would be worth, now mind you, keep in mind I am 6'4", so keep that in mind. I know Miata's already a stretch. I know I actually Googled that up too, like to see what people drive, and there's been
some tall people get in.
Yeah, no, I've had. What
I
they
just
usually
don't recommend heavy people for Miata.
No, you know what they actually apparently do? They actually take the seat out, they pull off the rails, and they fucking weld to the floor of the car, and that's how they get in there.
Or just take the top off.
I don't want my head sticking out.
Weld a bubble.
Weld a bubble.
Weld a bubble.
But yeah, if you guys come across anything, whatever it is, hit us up, let us know, and I'll definitely consider it if it's something that might be worth it.
Price range, BMW,
it's probably going to end up being a BMW. It's probably going to end up being a BMW.
or a Volvo 240.
I mean,
I think...
Why the fuck not?
Because seriously, well, you wouldn't be allowed on the track.
Well, because everybody would die.
Well, if you lose control of it, you're going through whatever barriers they have set up.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that happening.
At 90 mile an hour.
I mean,
91
mile an hour. It's going to be, people are going to, that's scary. Like, have you ever thought, like, people are going to come back like, dude, I never thought I'd hit a track day with a tank.
Yeah, seriously.
Did you see the way that tank was?
And I'm a tanker. I would never think that.
You know what'd be funny? You driving a Volvo. A tanker driving a tank.
I would actually, the only way I would ever drive a Volvo
road legal track.
is if I could ever get a hold of like my old army tanker outfit, which was essentially coveralls, but I would want to get the helmet with the whole communication system, and I would drive around in that. And instead of a steering wheel, I'd put a T-bar in there, so like it was legit. And it would have to be OD green or desert tan.
Oh yeah.
And I would have to get it. It'd have to be a sunroof and have somebody sitting on top, like a gunner or a tank commander, just on top, like, yeah, here comes the tank.
I got a tank.
And I'd have to get loudspeakers so you could hear the track noises instead of.
But yeah, hey, I mean, if I come across one,
thought of a new project right
boom,
there.
Done. No, the thing is that with those cars, it's hard to find manuals.
Yeah,
I'm not going to buy an automatic.
At that point, I wouldn't care. Tanks are automatics.
Yeah. Well, for you,
Abrams are automatics.
I'm not going to take a fucking automatic Volvo to a track. I'm not doing it. But Tom with the 850, Polish guy, he said he did an event last year where it was automatic.
Really?
Well, he did it. So basically,
wait, 850.
My car.
Oh,
the black one, the 850R.
I'm thinking of BMW for once.
But he had so those came only auto in the States.
Right.
So he went from auto, trash open diff, whatever the fuck it is that they have, to the manual, and then Alex installed a quaif in there. So while he was doing the whole project, so I drove it today, and it like I think I gunned it in second. I don't know what that car's putting out. It's got to be like low threes, like 320, 330 crank. It second gear, I think it was second or third. I did a pull, and it chirped a little bit in third, but there was no spin. It just a smidge, and it kept going. It regained traction like that. So it's definitely working for him.
All right.
But yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, it's been a fun one.
It has. It's been a
fun
blast. It's been a blasty blast.
We'll see you guys next week, and I hope to have the video things sorted and situated and finalized by next week.
Yep.
And we're going to do this again next week.
We are.
No topics, just free balling it.
Word.
All right, everybody, have a good one. And until next week, we'll see you on the road. Gear Shift Podcast is an independent production brought to you by The Bearded Detailer. If you have any questions, please contact us at gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com or thebeardeddetailer.com/gearshift.